Hi there, I'm Wangeline. Around 2 years ago I made a little Q&A video, that's questions and answers, to celebrate 1,000 subscribers on this channel. To keep it short, back then I just tried to hop in front of my camera and freestyle the whole thing, not scripting the video, not thinking too much about the questions beforehand and so on. I hated how sloppy and cheap it felt, on top of giving me massive gender dysphoria. So I took it down shortly after releasing it. Now I would like to try all this again with new questions and much more preparation. That being said, hi! Welcome! In Q&A videos like this one I answer your questions about music production, sound design or just whatever. You can send me questions in the comments below this video and I'll try to get to them in the next Q&A I do. And now let's get right to question number 1. What's your biggest inspiration? If we're talking music, then that'll be Camilla, Chauvin and Cone Sound. Camilla makes super speedy and loud bass music that I just can't get enough of. Like many other people, I discovered him through the rhythm game Osu. Back when I was still playing it many years ago. Chauvin is a young composer from Korea. They make these lovely little tunes that I think are perfect for having in the background while working on stuff. Most of it is very calm and soft, and I also use their music in my videos a lot. With barely any views on YouTube and just a little more than that on SoundCloud, I'd say they're very unknown, underrated even. It'd be really awesome if you could go into the Bandcamp, SoundCloud or just YouTube page and just have a little look around. Chauvin definitely gets the Wangeline recommendation stamp. The sound design in Cone Sound's music is absolutely out of this world. It's often just really fascinating listening to the albums, and I love trying to figure out how all the various sounds in them were made. As for YouTubers, it's kind of hard to pick out just a few people, because I draw inspiration from many different places. That being said, some names that immediately come to mind are Captain Disillusion, Ian Hubert, Brian David Gilbert, H-Bomberguy. Captain Disillusion makes videos about VFX trickery, and he does so in a really stylish way. I've always been trying to make my videos more interesting with sweet visuals, but I'm nowhere near as good as him at all of this. Ian Hubert is a 3D artist and filmmaker who makes really neat art. On his YouTube channel he also makes these so-called lazy tutorials in which he quickly explains some Blender feature or technique. Every time I watch one of these I generally feel like I'm leveling up my 3D skills, it's awesome. Brian David Gilbert is really funny. He's also really good at talking in front of a camera and performing, if that makes sense. I really admire his being in front of a camera skills. It's not just acting, but I don't know, it's hard to explain.
The poetic and dramatic. Everyone knows that poetry and theatre are meant to be seen and not read.
H-Bomberguy also just talks about things in a really neat way, with enough silliness sprinkled in between all the serious bits. To be honest, I'm having a difficult time trying to explain why I find certain channels interesting or inspiring or enjoyable and so on. Will you be posting your music on Spotify? The music and Some of the comments I picked out for this video are already quite old, and back then you could only listen to my music on YouTube and Bandcamp. For those of you who don't know this already, nowadays my music is available on Spotify and many other music streaming platforms. I'll also put a link to my Spotify I'll also put a link to my Spotify page in the description of this video. Can I use your music in my Twitch streams? Yeah, absolutely. All my music is completely free to use. You can use it in live streams, YouTube videos, video games, and so on. Remixing and editing my music is also totally fine. If you do any of these things, just make sure to credit me properly with a link to my Bandcamp page and you're good. What software do you edit with? Your videos are really well edited and very cool. Thank you. I use Adobe Premiere Pro for most of my editing, but for more complex animations I just swoops over to After Effects. I've had a lot of people tell me they really like my editing, and I like to think my videos are well made. If you'd like me to explain my editing and animation and how I make my videos in some kind of making of, just let me know in the comments and I'll make a video like that if enough people ask for it. Hello, how are you? I'm doing great. Here's a little tangent. I've got really bad arachnophobia, which means like I'm terrified of spiders. And one night a little flying insect entered my room that looked a hell of a lot like a spider, but like flying, you know? I'm not gonna show any pictures, but I was really scared to get anywhere near it, but also wanted to get rid of it for obvious reasons. And not using my brain whatsoever, I grabbed a lighter as well as a can of deodorant and, stupid as I am, blasted the evil critter with a hellish blaze. The big mistake of mine was to forget how flammable these foam panels are. A chunk of it immediately caught fire and I, in a panic, slapped it out with my bare hand. Despite my hand being burned badly from all the molten plastic sticking to it, I got away fine, since my room didn't burn down or anything. Shortly after the scary event had passed, I realized that had the flame spread just a little faster, I wouldn't have been able to just tap it out with my hand. We don't have any fire safety equipment at home, which, in moments like these, when time is of the essence, are absolutely vital to have. What I'm trying to say with all of this is, hi, I have a fire extinguisher now, which, like, should have gotten one sooner. But, I'm good, I'm fine. It was scary. You're from Germany, aren't you? Yeah, my entire family is from Russia and Kazakhstan, but I was born in Germany and spent my entire life here. Hi, ich bin Lion und ich esse gerne Papier. When I was much younger, I used to be able to speak a decent amount of Russian, but nowadays only a tiny trace of that is left. Мне надо рыбу и яблочки. Speaking of languages, I've noticed that my German is also kind of getting more and more fiddly for me. In my day-to-day life I practically only speak English and German is kind of slowly eroding as well. But like, it's not going away anytime soon. Additionally, I'm learning Dutch at the moment because my girlfriend and I want to live together and she's from the Netherlands. It's not incredibly hard for me since German and Dutch have a lot of similarities. Ik ben Lijn en ik heb een zwart zwaard gekocht. Bochers. Do you use any hardware synths, like the beep boop machines? Nope. Mostly because they're really expensive and I don't have that much money. I've watched a lot of videos about hardware synthesizers here on YouTube, be it reviews or just people making music with them, and I'm not entirely sure how my super destructive sample-heavy sound design workflow would translate onto hardware synthesizers. That being said, I've never had the opportunity to get my hands on a magical synth beep boop machine, and I would love to dip my toes into the hardware synth world one day. Do you have any plans to make it big with YouTube? Like, it's huge, just really big. I don't think you can really have plans for something like that. I on my own don't have much control over how my channel grows and so on, but I would absolutely love to do YouTube and music for a living one day. Yeah, hell yeah. Currently 46 people are supporting me on Patreon, with all the little donations adding up to $150 per month. This allows me to pay for tools like After Effects and Premiere, which I use to edit and animate my videos. And the money also goes towards stuff like building materials for video sets, equipment, and so on. If you want to help me get closer to that lovely dream of doing all this cool stuff for a living, please share around my videos on the internet or pledge a little amount on my Patreon page. Again, thank you all for the nice support, you're awesome. And that's pretty much everything. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and if you would like to have a question of your own featured in the next Q&A, just leave it in the comments below and I'll try to go through all of them. Again, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.
Hello?
Hi.